Hey everybody, Christine from Fiberglass World Africa, and today we are doing the final part of our body kit for Cody. So part 1 and part 2, we made the silicone mold, which is a basic silicone mold. We're not doing a casing box around it. It's very untidy the way it's been cut, but it's absolutely perfect to make a body kit for Cody off. As you can see, the mold came out perfectly. Step 1, we've cleaned our mold. Obviously there are a lot of little sticky fingers that were touching it. They were so excited. Step 2, we put our release agent on, which is our ram wax. That is our spray and cook in the factory. And step 3, we are going to gel coat it. So we're going to put a skin of gel coat on. Majority of our products we do 2 layers of gel coat. This is a very small product and it needs to be lightweight, and obviously gel coat does increase the weight of the product. So we are going to use only do 1 layer. I've chosen to use a black so you can see it clearly when I'm putting it on, which is going to be much easier. So we've mixed out our gel coat, which is more than enough for this project, and I'm going to do 1.5% of our hardener, which is our MEKP catalyst. 1.5% is more than enough. It's very humid today in KZN, so we will have absolutely no issues in terms of it drying. It's going to dry extremely quickly. I just need to get the gel on before it starts gelling. So rule of thumb, as I said previously, 1 minute for mixing in any of your hardener. This is such a small little amount, so obviously I'm not going to take 1 minute. Okay, and I'm going to hold up the brush so I can show you how we're going to do that. Oh, let's get rid of that. Okay, so just so you can see as we're doing it, very simple. We are just putting the gel coat. Oh, let me just move this camera a little bit. There we go. We're just putting the gel coat on the actual car indent itself. You can see the body. It's quite easy to find it. It's such a small product, we're going to have to use a Dremel to trim it, but you will see the trim lines quite easily once we pop it out. So first layer of gel is going on. I'm going to make it a nice thick layer because I'm only doing 1 layer. So gel coat is on. Now we sit and we wait about 45 minutes. So it's been about 45 minutes, and as you can see, the gel coat is 100% dry. There's no transfer on our fingers, so we're ready to laminate. So what you're going to need for this is you're going to need resin. I'm using a general purpose resin. There's no reason to use an ISO resin in this. We don't need anything for chemical resistant or heat resistant, so we're going with the GP resin. You're going to need your catalyst, which is your MEKP hardener, and you are going to need your glass. I would normally on a job like this, see it is a body part, I would use surfboard cloth, which is much lighter, much finer, and much easier to work with on something like this, but I don't have any in stock and my supplies aren't open yet, so I'm going to use a normal 450 gram chopped strand mat, which will work just as well. I just need to cut it into pieces. So first things first, clean our brush. Use a resin hand is 20 water, which use washing powder, and put water in your hand and it will quite well. So are you ready to start? I'm using 1.5% again. Exactly what I used in my mixing of my gel coat, because as I said, it's humid, so we don't need to go any more. It is going to be a hot mix. Okay, the consistency of your resin is much thinner than your gel coat, obviously, but when you start stirring it in, you are going to see it thickening. And for the normal 1 minute, make sure you get into all the areas. We try to keep our carbon footprint down in our company, so we do reuse and recycle a lot of empty plastic 2-liter bottles. It's just our way to try and help the environment as much as we can in the industry we're in. So our resin is completely mixed. We have got all our catalyst in there. As you can see, it's slightly changed the color from the pinky color it was to more of a yellowy brown color. Now that that's done, I'm going to dip my brush into resin and I'm just going to paint it lightly all over the gel coat. Okay, So as you can see, I've done a very thin layer just to make it tacky and sticky. I am then going to take my glass. I'm taking offcuts. We get a lot of them in the factory, and instead of wasting them, we actually do use them for a lot of things. So what I'm going to do, I really want to be able to show you this. So I'm going to place my glass as nicely as I can, which is going to be very difficult with a camera. Okay, so I'm placing my glass down. Don't worry about the little folds, just make sure your glass is 100% on the product so you're going to get dry areas. Okay, so I'm going to first start with the base. I've laid down some glass. Obviously it is already sticking because we did put the resin. We do all prefer to apply our resin like this, opposed to putting it on, we dab it on. This allows all the pinholes and the fiberglass where it's leaving areas to have air, that we actually get it all out. On an application on a delivery box or bigger product, we actually use metal rollers, or aluminium rollers as you would call them, which help us distribute all the air holes, pinholes, and get all the resin into everywhere it needs to be. So you can see the base is already done with the glass. I'm going to work this way, it's just going to be easier for me, and then I'll show you once I'm done. Maybe I'll hold the phone up. There we go. Let's try to do it this way. Okay, as you can see on the corners, those white areas are air. You want to get those out. You don't want any air in your product. This will cause issues. You want your fiberglass to be sticking directly to your gel coat without any air inside it. Okay, so we've finished doing the base of the mold with fiberglass. We are now going to do the sides. Just because the glass is thick, it's easy to do it this way opposed to me just putting one single layer. If it was a surfboard cloth, I would have done it like that. It's okay if you double up. I've got no issue doing with that because it is going to make the top of the section stronger. Can you see that? Okay, so now we've got our glass all applied. We are now going to fill with resin again. Make sure you get, as I'm doing with my brush, get into all those air holes. You need to get them out. You cannot have any dry glass sitting on the side, or it is going to cause problems with your product, without a doubt. Silly little thing. I actually got my brush for this little top because the small brushes we use in the factory are 15 brushes, so there's no way I can get away with using the brush on top. Good. I'm going to show you what I mean when I say you cannot allow it to gel. If you look at the resin with the hardener in, it's starting to gel. Resin should not be doing that. It means your mix is going, and you either need to work very quickly and finish the job you're doing, or remix more gel coat, which I'm not going to have, resin, which I'm not going to have to do because we have already pretty much covered this product. I just want to get a few areas around the wheel arches. And that's it. It's turned into gel, just like that. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure all my sides are stuck down nicely, so when I demold once this is dry, which again, it's not going to take long, 45 minutes maximum. I've only got a 1.5% catalyst mix, but it is so humid outside that I promise you this is going to be dry in a matter of minutes. I just want to make sure I've got glass absolutely everywhere. Okay, that's it. Your brush and acetone, and we're ready to go. There we go. Now we wait for it to dry. So I've arrived home obviously with our finished product, which is dry now. It only took about 25 minutes to dry. As I said, it's very humid, and we're going to demold it with Cody. Remember when I said it comes off very nicely with silicone? comes off that nicely. And obviously we use a release agent, which makes it much easier. So I'm just going to, do you want to pop it out? You can pop it out. Just bam. There we go. Cody's first body kit. So all we need to do is give it a little trim around the areas. You can see our cut lines, as I explained in the last video. Cut lines are there. Once that's done, we'll do that with a Dremel tomorrow, give it a sand and a polish, and bam, we'll have a perfect kit for his car. Do you like it?